This program is brought to you by thepodcastfactory.com.
You're listening to the Pretend You're Fired Today podcast. And now, here's your host, Lisa Rangel.
Welcome and hello. Welcome to the 52nd and final episode of the Pretend You're Fired Today podcast. I'm Lisa Rangel, host of the Pretend You're Fired Today podcast and founder of Chameleon Resumes. We're an executive resume writing, LinkedIn profile development, and job search consultancy firm that helps executives and high potential leaders land their next position faster. And on today's podcast, we're going to talk about how to economy-proof your career. As I mentioned in our first line, today is the last podcast of this series, and I want to leave you with actionable advice that you can use whether the market is up or down, or the political climate is in your favor or it's not in your favor. No matter what, I always want you to know what to do to thrive. And that's what I want to leave with you here on this last podcast for this series. With all the political jockeying and economic churning occurring each and every day, it's easy to worry about what is in store for the future of your career. It's human, it's common. And whatever happens in Washington or Wall Street or around the globe over the next few months or even next few years, the fact remains that the uncertainty posed by elections and global fiscal incidents have many people worried about how it will affect their job. Does this describe you? Whether you're an executive, middle manager, or a steady staff member, the rumbling is loud about how the fiscal and political climates domestically and around the globe can affect your workflow. And despite this growing concern, I believe you can triumph in this economic turmoil and political uncertainty. How, you may ask, right? So that's why we're here. I want you to reprogram yourself to think of uncertainty as an opportunity to thrive while everyone else is nervous. Uncertainty is an opportunity. I want you to remember that as we chat here. And as a general rule, when uncertainty presents itself, which it always will present itself, I want you to focus on what you can control in the situation, and I want you to ignore, for the most part, what you can't control. This is what will help you win during these tumultuous times. This alone, focusing on what you can control and not fretting about what you can't control. This alone will set you apart from the doomsdayers who unknowingly say the markets are going to collapse no matter what, no matter who wins, no matter what country's economically unstable. The key is remaining level-headed matters. And remaining level-headed will get you noticed amongst a sea of panickers and doomsdayers and negative Nellies is what I call them. So companies want to hire and retain productive, resilient, inherently happy employees. And those that run around saying the sky is falling every time there's a doomsdaying news clip, they're not going to be revered for their resiliency because they don't have resiliency. You don't want to be categorized as negative. You want to be categorized as someone who will weather the storm. So the key is don't let yourself be one of those people that gets categorized as negative every time there's a notification on your phone about some negative news clip. That you don't want to be that person. So to help you, I have 15 actions here that can help you remain focused and demonstrate those resilient characteristics in the face of uncertainty. So first, the key is remain calm, stay focused, and simply do your job, right? If your employer sees you as someone who is resilient and productive amongst the economic noise, they will note that you might be worth keeping around if cuts are remade because they want the strong, right? They want the mentally strong. So they need people who can stay focused on the big picture and not react to every news notification that pops up on their phone. You want to make sure you're looking at the big picture. Second, be the voice of reason. Stop talking about only what can go wrong. Focus on what also can be done right. Again, employers want to keep the employees and the management that are positively contributing to the environment, not the chicken littles who are running around all day saying the sky is falling. Stay social. Ask a work colleague out for lunch. Call a long-distance professional buddy to chat. And for God's sakes, don't start the conversation about the negativity in the news or in the economic climate. Chat about productive topics, at least to start. Fourth, Join professional networking groups. Stay abreast of what's going on in your discipline and your industry. Make new friends. Episode 18 of this Pretend You're Fired Today podcast, which you'll find the list of all the episodes at pretendyourfiredtoday.com. Episode 18 will show you how to connect with people when you don't need their help, which frankly is the best time to connect with people. So be sure to listen to this episode. Number 5. When doing your performance appraisal, spell out how you contributed to revenue initiatives, how you saved money, saved on costs, streamlined processes. Tell your boss how you were fabulous in concrete, measurable terms. And episode 47 of the Pretend You're Fired Today podcast will outline for you how to prepare for your next performance review so you can crush it and get that raise and promotion that you've worked hard for. That will help you rise amongst the uncertainty that may exist around you. 6, and you've heard me mention this already, but it's important, so I'm repeating it. Don't be a negative Nelly. Like, seriously. If you come across as happy and grateful, your employer won't have to worry about making you happy. Now, that doesn't mean your employer will ignore you and not do anything for you. But I find that demanding, disgruntled, never satisfied employees who contribute to the problem rather than the solution, the employers don't want them to stick around very long. And they're the first ones on the chopping block if there's an uncertain moment that warrants staff cuts. So be the person they don't want to cut. Be positive in light of the uncertainty. 7, update your resume. Optimize your LinkedIn profile. Have your wins outlined on these documents, especially after a performance appraisal. But if your performance appraisal isn't happening in a while, do this anyway. Have these documents ready to roll if needed. You can use the 2 resources that I've created to help you. Our resume cheat sheet can be found at resumecheatsheet.com, and our LinkedIn profile cheat sheet can be found at linkedinprofilecheatsheet.com. Examples of what each document should look like and how to write the achievements that should be contained on each of these documents, you will find that out these links, resumecheatsheet.com and linkedinprofilecheatsheet.com. Number 8, audit your LinkedIn connections and see that you're not just connected with your buddies, but you want to make sure you're connected with your vendors, your clients, external and internal partners, individuals from professional associations. Maximize your reach. Episode 12 of the pretendyourfiredtoday.com podcast will help you unlock the power of your network using LinkedIn. Number 9, get LinkedIn recommendations and endorsements. This absolutely cannot hurt, so do this. Number 10, be active online. Post interesting articles, endorse other people, participate in LinkedIn groups to stay visible in online mediums. You can do this outside of LinkedIn as well. You want to show that you're a beacon of educational light and share information that you know to educate others. So you can take our job search quiz at aptly named jobsearchquiz.com to learn other tactics you can do to keep your LinkedIn profile views up and stay noticed while helping to educate others. You can do this with a pure spirit and helping others, but you can benefit from it by educating others and being viewed as a thought leader. So go to jobsearchquiz.com and see what you're doing that's right and learn what you can do that you don't know yet. Number 11, research professional development initiatives you can do. Certifications, professional credits, ongoing learning initiatives, improve your credentials, as well as just simply create natural networking opportunities amongst the other students that are still in the professional light that you are, so you can connect. This can happen whether you're certifications or learning initiatives or in person or online. People network online as well, as you know. Number 12, book yourself to attend a conference. I challenge you to do this. When was the last time you went to a conference in your industry? Promote yourself as a leader in your field, also for your company, even if you have to do it on your own dime. It's an investment in yourself and in your network. And episode 19 of the Pretend You're Fired Today podcast will show you how to prepare for the conference, what to do during the conference, and then how to follow up after the conference. So this way you can make the most of your time, of your attendance. 13. This is a big one. So I say turn off the news. I say give yourself a break where you don't listen to the news. Unless you're contributing to U.S. Senate meetings or advising the president or working on the floor of an exchange, of a financial exchange, I would say most people really don't need to listen to the play-by-play every hour of the day. And this will help you free up so much time that you can proactively focus on your career. In fact, Episode 18 will show you 5 ways to create 9 hours of extra time in your week. And you can use this time to dedicate to career development initiatives, personal health practices, deepening your family relationships. I mean, what could you do with an extra 9 hours a week? Oh my goodness, like it leaves me almost relatively speechless. So definitely revisit episode 38. 14, sign up for interview coaching or work with a private coach to hone your message, whether you need to re-interview for your job or do your performance review, or somebody reaches out to you impressed with your background on LinkedIn and you just want to be ready for that impromptu, didn't seek it out kind of interview. Our interview prep sheet can help you at interviewprepsheet.com, help you prepare, make sure you're prepared with your car and star stories. And frankly, episodes 23 to 32 will help you with various right tactics and mindsets that will help you interview powerfully and effectively. So make sure you go to episodes 23 to 32. Those 9 episodes will help you. And interviewprepsheet.com will help you with an outline. And lastly, certainly not least, but this is an important last item here, help others. Be a resource to your network. Connect people who can benefit each other. It doesn't always have to be about you. When you connect people that can benefit from each other, you will always be remembered when you need to ask for help. So I say give before you get, right? As we learned in networking mantras, that's certainly not my phrase, but give to get, that's the context. So connect others, and then when you need to be connected, karmically, that will work out for you. I see it every time. The bottom line is during uncertain times, and uncertainty, it doesn't always have to be bad. It just simply means you don't know where it's going to end. The key is during uncertain times is to keep your eye on the prize. The eye on the prize for you is to retain and excel in your job, no matter what, right? So just over deliver on what you're supposed to do. That's your goal. That helps you keep your eye on the prize, right? Even if you lose your job due to economic circumstances beyond your control, the good karma that will come from doing what we suggest in this episode, as well as in the prior podcast episodes, will increase your opportunities to be hired quickly. That's the goal. Continuous employability, right? Companies want to hire and keep productive, resilient, and inherently happy employees. People hire people they like. People hire people that are fun to be around because the world can already be a little more difficult like on its own. They don't need negative people to make it harder. So companies realize they can't make you a positive person. At least smart companies do. Smart companies realize that you have to come to them in a positive way. And that's who they want to hire, right? So the key here is to be proactive, preserve your employability, because when you know that you are taken care of, when you know that you've taken care of yourself, no matter what happens in today's economy, that inherently will increase your confidence and that inherently will increase your happiness. So throughout the podcast, we've talked about the only way to truly protect yourself from job loss is to pretend you're fired today and make a list of activities that you would do to start to find your next job. This is the key element of the Pretend You're Fired Today action list, right? This is the premise. I want you to be in demand when you need it, so you need to create the demand before you need it. This way, if your job situation changes unexpectedly, you already have pent-up demand for what you do by doing these actions that I've shown you here today, as well as throughout the podcast. And if you find that you need help with any of it, know that you don't have to do it alone, and you can go to executivejobsecurity.com and find out what it takes to hire us. And this way you can work with us one-on-one. As I mentioned in the beginning of this episode, this is our last episode of the Pretend You're Fired Today podcast series. It's been my great honor to serve you and speak to you each week to preach the message of doing activities that keep you continuously employed and doing them before you need it. I mean, I see job loss devastate egos, careers, families. I hate it, and I want to prevent each and every one of them by sharing this message of always being prepared and always being ready by creating demand for what you do before you need it. And I'm honored that you join me and humbled by your sentiments, that you're sharing this podcast with your friends and colleagues. I thank you for this. My friend, too, saved me with her priceless advice of Pretend You're Fired Today. And I view this podcast as a mission of paying it forward with you. And I ask you to continue to pay this sentiment forward and share it with as many executives, rising professionals, and staff members starting out who you feel would benefit from the build the demand before you need it advice. It's the inspiration behind this podcast, and let's keep it moving forward after today. After today, you can always reach me directly at lr@chameleonresumes.com. That's my direct email address. I want you to continue to ask your questions, keep me posted on your progress, and get help when you struggle too. Know my team and I are always here for you. I look forward to hearing your stories. You can always learn what cool stuff we're up to and what new ways we're creating to help job seekers on our main website, chameleonresumes.com. And you can always revisit all 52 episodes of this podcast at pretendyourfiretoday.com. Just remember, I'm so proud of you that you are taking the steps to making yourself marketable when you don't quite need it yet. Most people wait for that unexpected job change to happen, if they even think it's going to happen to them. And then bam, they find themselves scrambling to learn all this information under the pressure of needing to work fast. So it's, to me, the recipe for misery. And you are combating that by listening and doing this work before you need it. So kudos to you for learning it. Serious pat on the back for doing it before you need it. This will help you create ongoing employability in your career. And this is my goal for each and every listener. Thank you for taking this journey with me, and I wish you the best of success in your career. Be well.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.